Hi, it's my second time in Danang, and I seriously consider moving here. The first time I came here was on a business trip a year ago, and I immediately fell in love with this place. But this time I came here as a tourist, and here is my honest opinion. It is a scam designed for Korean tourists. I believe that I had very high expectations, and this has let me down a bit. First, I want to say that our hotel was amazing, and most hotels in Danang are a great value for money. See it for yourself. Most of them are located along these wide promenades. That is what I loved with all my heart. I can totally imagine myself settling down there for a couple of years, and I absolutely love the vibe. A lot of people play volleyball, do outdoor sports, go surfing, even ride bikes on the beach or cruise around the city. It looks insane, but it's a lot calmer and cleaner than Ho Chi Minh City. The weather is much nicer and cooler, so I really loved it.
I can totally imagine myself living here because there's so much going on. You can walk along the promenade in the evening. You can go to the beach and do some sports. It's amazing. Can you imagine living?
Definitely, yeah.
What would you do?
Run on the beach.
Run on the beach. And it's just it's really nice and not as hot as in Phuket or anywhere else. So it's perfect.
As a tourist, I really wanted to experience something authentic and traditional. Silly me, right? I found this coconut forest basket tour where you can float along the river in these round-shaped boats. I've seen so many videos on the internet about them, and I get really excited. As a tourist, I value visiting historic places, and I came across this package which said that from this boat we would see the old village, and of course I wanted to see it. So everything started pretty well. We rented a bike and drove to Hoi An, or I'm not too sure if I say it right, so where these boats are. It was interesting to pass by local villages and see some wildlife on the way to that place. Then we came across this woman who gave us her business card and literally guided us to the boat. Everything looked alright until we got on the boat. There was an old lady on the boat. Just from our observation, the majority of people doing this job were men. So we felt kind of guilty making this old woman row the boat by herself, so Reese decided to help her. She was very sweet, singing songs and making jokes.
We're on this coconut boat.
So here is the woman we met just 5 minutes ago, and she was singing ole ole ole. Here's my future husband. Everyone's working very hard. I was just born to enjoy this life. Hi Reese. Do you enjoy this activity?
Yeah, I'm working hard.
How much did you pay to work hard?
£8.
£8. And now you're working hard. By the way, it was a really stupid idea to go there at 2 o'clock, so don't make our mistake. Come either earlier before 11 or later after 3, as it was scorchingly hot and at that time. First, she took us along the river. Everything looked gorgeous. She offered to take a few professional photos for an extra charge. We didn't want any pictures at that point because we were pretty hot and had already taken plenty of pictures. Then we moved forward and witnessed that famous craziness that locals do in these coconut boats. They started going nuts, moving boats from side to side, making a lot of splashes in order to get more attention and tips from Korean tourists. As you can see, they have set up various islands where they performed. Some of them were dancing Gangnam style, singing. There even was a DJ station and karaoke. Some people were showing their fishing talents and requested more tips. I mean, it was real madness, and Korean tourists loved it and tipped the performers. But I still wanted to see the old village. I had imagined it being a nice boat tour along historic places, not a Korean party. And all this for £10. If you don't have any expectations like I did, you will be alright. You may even enjoy it.
How do you find this trip?
Well, it was interesting. Not what we expected.
What was not up to your expectations?
Well, I was expecting to see an ancient town, but nowhere to be seen.
What?
Just Korean people dancing on a boat, singing Gangnam style.
Would you do it all again?
No.
No, I wouldn't do it as well.
If you expect to see something cultural, it's not worth it. When we arrived back and asked those people who sold us the package where the old village was, they just laughed at our complaint. Well, lesson learned. But if you don't want to be scammed like we were, just open booking.com and book your tickets through official website, because apparently they control how everything goes. We just approached a random person and we get scammed. Good morning. This is our day 2 here in Danang. And it's so weird because right now it's 29 degrees, but we're wearing like cardigans and jackets because it's pretty cold. And right now we're gonna go to the Golden Bridge, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be even colder there. Feels so weird after Ho Chi Minh. The next day, we went to see this iconic bridge that I have been dreaming about since last summer. You may have heard of the Golden Bridge in Danang. It's one of the most photographed spots in Danang, located within Bana Hills. As we started approaching the ticket booth, the view was like in a movie. It didn't look real.
So we've arrived to this place where you go to the Golden Bridge, and I'm not too sure whether we got scammed again or not. But we were told that this is the only place where you can buy tickets. So we got a ticket that gives us access to the park where we can like go on a roller coaster and all other places to visit. The price was really expensive. It was about £30. But hopefully it will be worth it. Otherwise it would be annoying.
First, we drove to the cable car. It took us around 25 minutes to get there from the city center, even though the map said 45 minutes. If you have a chance to rent a bike and drive on your own, I highly recommend doing it. There was a stunning view all the way up. When you get the tickets, you can't only get the tickets to the bridge. It's all together with Fantasy Park and all the attractions that are on the top of those hills. As we entered the bridge, we only saw crowds and crowds of people. The bridge probably looked nice, but it was too crowded to actually appreciate it. So many people that you can't even take a picture. Look behind me. It's a disaster. Apart from the bridge, there are so many things to do there, starting with an ancient wine cellar, temples, flower gardens, places to take pictures. It was pretty hot to walk and explore everything, so get ready for that.
Reese, looks like ancient town. What do you think?
Yeah. 7 years is ancient, apparently.
Have you found another girlfriend?
Yeah.
Who's she?
She's got a nice personality.
After you explore everything next to the bridge, you can take another cable car to see Fantasy Park. There'll be a maze where you can properly get lost.
Did I go here? No. Reese, wait! Fucking hell, Reese! I'm scared. She's always doing this to me. And this maze is smelling like Drax's house. Like a dump. What's that?
It's a wasp.
No, it's a drone. The last thing I want to do is get stuck here alone. Guys, the rules of any horror film: don't split up. Once you decide to split, you're fucked.
There were some fake Western buildings, churches, lots of vendors selling food, even some rare finds such as Azerbaijani food. They did have some rides, but you have to pay extra for the best rides, like the Alpine coaster. So overall, to me, all these places felt like there was not much value there. And they just try to get more money out of tourists without giving anything back. There were not enough rides to call it a Disneyland, and walking in hot weather was not really fun. For example, this old church, I know many Asian people will find it interesting to see, but in Vietnam there are so many real Catholic churches that look a lot better. So walking in crowded places and looking at fake historic buildings was not on my list. So I was also a bit disappointed.
Do you feel scammed again?
Yes.
Yes, why?
There's just nothing to do here. It's just pay 30 quid to walk around a copycat city.
So we just passed by the place that was called Ancient Cellar. What do you think about it?
It's a scam.
Why?
Well, it's obviously not ancient, is it?
So what should I do?
Just call it a wine cellar.
And everything is here like this. Ancient town, ancient temple. Everything is so ancient, built in 2018. You might not like it.
If you don't want to experience Vietnamese culture, come here. If you want to come to a Disneyland, come here.
Yeah.
But we did tick the boxes. Again, I probably expected more from that bridge and didn't do enough research. So if you know what to expect, I think you will like it. If you find this information useful, please support me by clicking that like button. At night, we visited this night market, and this is something that is always worth visiting. High quality food, lots of meat and seafood. Just a tip, don't wear anything too fancy because the smell of smoke will eventually get into your clothes. The next day, we visited the statue of Lady Buddha. We rented a bike and drove away from the city center. On the way to that place, we saw a lot of fishermen's boats and lots of fish thrown away on the pavement. We stopped for a while because the view was stunning. So if you get a chance to go by bike, I recommend doing this because you can stop anywhere.
So I got off the bike and I almost tapped into this dustbin.
This was the first place I didn't have any expectations about. Lady Buddha is located on the top of a hill. It was the first genuine place in 3 days, and I loved it. Lots of wildlife, real temples, monks praying. There was something spiritual in the air. From the top of the hill, you can see Danang. I hope this will give you a better perspective on what to expect. So if I summarize this trip, it's a great place to go swimming, do water sports, and you could find plenty of quiet places. Touristy places are designed for Korean tourists and won't be to everyone's liking. Despite some negative experiences, I still love Danang as a place to live, and I plan to move there in a couple of years, but I don't like it as a tourist. Let me know in the comments what is your honest opinion, and see you later.
Hey guys, normally I don't film in the bathroom, but I just want to show you this. This is the sink, right? And this is the size of my hand, and I have a baby hand. Look at this tiny sink.